Guys, ayaw ko kayo bigyan ng palaisipan bago matulog pero since kayo mismo ang may request nito, sige, laban tayo dyan. Okay, so last time, di ba, nasa West Virginia tayo with the Sutter Kids. Ngayon, let's fly to Adelaide, Australia, kung saan may isang lalaki na tagpuang walang buhay sa beach. Walang ID, walang wallet, tinanggal lahat ng label sa damit niya. Nakasuit pa siya when he was found at may sobrang cryptic clue sa bulsa niya. Isang punit na papel na may nakasulat lang na Tamam Shud. This is one of the weirdest unsolved cases in Australian history. Let's talk about the Somerton Man case. Magki-quick disclaimer lang ako guys ha. So lahat ng info sa video na to ay based on actual police records, autopsy reports, and modern forensic research from credible scientists and journalists. Kinumpile ko lang lahat ng sources in this video for storytelling purposes. So kung may na-miss man ako o may alam kayo sa story na to, just drop it in the comsec. Okay, so rewind tayo to November 13, 1948 ng hapon. May mga taong naglalakad sa Somerton Beach sa Adelaide. Chill lang, parang normal day. Then may mga nakapansin sa isang lalaki na nakaupo against the seawall. Maayos naman ang forma niya, naka-suit, leather shoes, parang businessman na nagpapahinga. Ganon na atake niya. Pero ang weird kasi, naka-coat siya. Kahit medyo mainit nung araw na yun. Around 7 p.m., may isang couple na dumaan sa harap niya. Napansin nila na hindi siya gumagalaw. Pero, iniisip lang nila baka tulog lang or bagengi, lasenglot. So, walang gumising sa kanya kasi nga, sino ba namang guguluhin mo kung mukhang tulog lang, 'di ba? So, fast forward to early morning on December 1, 1948, around 6:30 a.m. May isang lalaki na nag-jog sa beach. Ang pangalan niya si John Lyons. Napadaan ulit sa parehong spot. And guess what? Nandun pa rin yung lalaki in the same position as last night. So, doon na siya napaisip. Wait lang. Hindi normal to ah. So, yun, lumapit siya. And ayun na. Chinek niya, walang pulso. Malamig na yung katawan. Deads na. So, tinawagan agad ang police and officially, doon na nagsimula ang kaso sa madaling araw ng December 1. Pero ang huling beses na nakita siyang buhay ay gabi ng November 30. December 1, 1948, around 6:45 a.m. Responding officers from Henley Beach Police Station were the first on site. So, nakita nila ang katawan ng isang lalaki na nasa edad 40s. Maayos yung pananamit niya, naka gray or brown suit. So, sa ibang sources, gray, sa ibang sources, brown. Polished shoes, dress shirt with tie, pero walang sombrero. Unusual nung panahon na yan kasi nga, diba, mainit. So, walang signs of struggle or violence. Parang Sleeping Beauty lang siya na hindi nagising. So, ano yung initial observations ng mga lespo? Una, no ID, walang wallet, walang pangalan, walang kahit anong dokumento. Pangalawa, may train ticket at bus ticket sa bulsa, unused. And lastly, may chewed gum, cigarette pack, pero ibang brand yung sigarilyo sa loob at metal comb. Lahat generic, walang brand ties. So, ngayon, inautopsy na si Kuya. Again, ang estimated age niya is mga 40s or late 40s. Athletic build, malinis yung kuko, walang bruises or signs of struggle. Pero internally, may congestion sa brain, liver, at blood pooling sa stomach. Ano daw siya? Classic signs daw ng poisoning. Pero ito yung plot twist. Wala sila nakitang poison sa katawan niya. And noong 1948 kasi guys, hindi pa ganun ka-advance ang testing. Wala pa silang toxicology tools na panghuli ng rare or fast-acting poison. So, posibleng gumamit daw siya or ginamitan siya ng isang undetectable poison na nawawala agad sa system or nawawala agad sa katawan ng tao. Ang sabi ng coroner, I am convinced he was poisoned pero I cannot prove it. So, what's the official cause of death? Heart failure due to possible poisoning. Pero yun nga, wala silang nahanap na identifiable poison, leading to one of the biggest mysteries. Paano si Somerton Man namatay kung walang laso na nakita sa katawan niya? By the way guys, gusto ko lang isingit pala to. Kaya pala siya tinawag na Somerton Man kasi natagpuan yung katawan niya sa Somerton Beach sa Adelaide, South Australia. Kaya nung hindi pa rin ma-identify kung sino siya, tinawag na lang siya ng media and authorities as the Somerton Man. Parang ano siya, parang code name na lang siya ng press at investigators para magkaroon ng label yung kaso kasi 'di ba, wala nga pangalan, walang ID, walang match sa fingerprint databases nila at walang missing persons report na tumutugma. So in short, unidentified male found dead at Somerton Beach equals to Somerton man. So this name stuck sa public consciousness dahil sobrang weird kasi ng case tapos nag-viral to in 1940 standards. Weeks later, may natagpuan na brown suitcase sa Adelaide Railway Station. Traced back sa parehong araw na tingin nilang dumating si Somerton man sa city. So ito yung nasa loob ng suitcase. Damit na walang labels, wax thread, yung same sa ginamit pang repair ng pants niya. Shaving kit, knife in a sheath, and a stencil brush, yung parang ginagamit ng mechanics o engineers para magmarka sa metal part. So, baka may technical background siya. Ngayon guys, sa suitcase, may ilang damit at gamit na walang label. Alam niyo yung lahat, parang sinadyang tanggalin. Pero may isang item lang na may label, which is yung coat. Other sources say na it's a tie. Other sources naman say it's undershirt na may nakasulat na T-Kin. So, ano ba yung significance nito? According to investigators, walang records ng taong named T-Kid sa missing persons list sa Australia, UK, or US nung time na yon. Mukhang hindi siya mismo si T-Kid kasi kahit yung damit na yon ay hindi siya nag-match sa katawan niya or hindi siya sukat perfectly. One theory says deliberately ginamit yung item na may ibang pangalan to mislead investigators. Another says baka second-hand item lang siya na nabili niya sa thrift shop or donation. So, bakit may no? Bakit may pangalan, no? Pero hindi kanya. Ito guys may isang theory na nagsasabi na what if daw si T-Kin was a code name, alias, or someone he was connected to. Maybe the real target or an accomplice. Pero hanggang ngayon guys, never na trace kung sino si T-Kin. So, in short, yes, the name T-Kin was found on one item in the suitcase. Si Somerton man was not identified as T-Kin, and yes, this detail remains one of the weirdest false lead in the entire case. Kumbaga, panggulo lang siya. Noong April 1949, guys, months after tiningnan ulit ng pulis yung damit ni Somerton man. And guess what? Sa secret fob pocket ng pants niya na hindi agad napansin, meron silang na-discover na maliit na rolled up paper. So, ano yung nakasulat dun? So, written on it is tamam shud. Ano ba yung meaning ng tamam shud? So, ang meaning nun is, it is ended. Galing siya sa Persian poetry book na The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam na uso sa mga bookworms noon. Ngayon, ang tanong, saan galing yun? Tsaka sino yung naglagay? Weeks after makita ang bangkay ni Somerton man sa beach, nirelease ng police sa media yung photo ng Rubaiyat, yung rare book na may tamam shud torn page. Now, pasok sa eksena si Mr. Ronald Francis, isang local businessman na taga Adelaide. Ngayon, nag-report siya sa police na nakakita siya ng exact same book sa backseat ng sasakyan niya, which was parked near Somerton Beach nung araw na nakita yung bangkay. Tapos guys, yung sasakyan niya was apparently left unlocked during that time. And according to him, hindi niya agad napansin yung book hanggang mga ilang araw or weeks later, and he didn't report it agad kasi hindi niya daw alam na connected daw to sa crime. Hanggang sa, lumabas sa news na may nawawalang book page, doon lang siya nag-report. Ito guys, super suspicious lang ng mga tao kasi una, how did the book end up in his car? Syempre, walang witness, CCTV or anything to confirm kung paano napunta yun doon. Actually, kahit ako, magtataka din ako eh. Second, Ronald Francis requested to stay anonymous noong time ng investigation. So, ginamit lang siya sa files as a man from Glenelg. Hanggang sa later, diniclassify yung pangalan niya. Pangatlo, yung book na yon matched the torn page found in the Somerton man's hidden fob pocket. And it is a perfect match. Meaning, yung libro na yon sa kanya yun. So guys, basically si Mr. Ronald Francis ang nagdala ng golden clue sa case. Pero kung how or why napunta yung Rubaiyat sa car niya, walang may nakakaalam hanggang ngayon. Ang ibang theories even suggest, was he involved? Was he a false lead? Or was there someone planting evidence? Sa likod ng libro guys, may phone number. Ngayon, natrace siya ng police and it led them to Jessica Jo Thompson, a nurse who lived 400 meters away from where the body was found. So guys, tandaan nyo tong name na to. She becomes the center of speculation. Is she the ex, the key, or the killer? Now, the police asked her, "Do you know him?" Ang sagot niya, "Nope, never met him." But when police showed her the death mask of the guy, yun si Somerton Man, bigla siya guys namutla at muntik na siyang mahimatay. Are you sure, T? Ngayon guys, dito pa mas humirap ang lahat. Sa same book, may nakita silang cryptic code, isang series of random letters. So ito na yung famous Somerton code na never pa na-decode until now. Yung iba, nagsabi na baka spy message siya or a cipher na only trained agents can read. Code experts all over the world tried to decode it. Military, Interpol, even the FBI, and nobody could crack it until now. Unsolved pa rin. Si Professor Derek Abbott ay isang physics and engineering professor sa University of Adelaide. So noong 2000s, he got obsessed with the Tamam Shud case and he basically became the modern face of the investigation. Now here's the Marites with receipts. First, did he really marry someone just to get DNA access? Sort of, but let's unpack that carefully. So ganito yung timeline guys. In 2010, while researching the case, Professor Abbott looked into the theory that the Somerton Man might be Robin Thompson's biological father. Ngayon guys, si Robin, anak siya ni Jessie Jo Thompson, yung nurse kanina na sinabi ko. Robin is also a dancer, gymnast, at meron siyang rare anatomical traits similar to Somerton Man, like yung missing lateral incisors, tsaka yung wedge-shaped ears. So, para i-push pa yung theory, Professor Abbott tracked down Robin's daughter, si Rachel Egan, who was adopted and didn't grow up knowing this side of her family. So kaya nag-meet sila and they both got invested in the case and then in each other. And yes guys, eventually they got married. They have kids now and are happily together. But Professor Abbott always maintained the narrative na I didn't marry her just for DNA access. I fell in love with her. So yes guys, may love story din siya pero grabe yung timing, di ba? So now, ang question is, how did they get the DNA? Hindi kay Rachel guys, since adopted naman siya. Hindi rin kay Robin, but kinuha nila directly from the Somerton Man himself. In 2022, official exhumation was done by South Australia Police. So si Professor Abbott and his team previously extracted hair from a plaster bust of the Somerton Man na ginawa in 1949. Ginamit nila yung strand of hair and they did forensic genealogy DNA testing. Ito yung same technique used in cracking the Golden State Killer case. So let me know guys kung gusto nyo rin pag-usapan natin tong case na to sa next video natin. Going back, if you're not familiar, forensic genealogy is DNA tracing through family trees. Galing sa hair, skin, saliva, high detective stuff. So ano yung resulta? In 2022, Professor Abbott and his genealogy expert partner, Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick, announced that the Somerton Man is named Carl Charles Webb, born 1905 in Melbourne. Isa siyang electrical engineer, separated from his wife, went missing in the 1940s. No known criminal history and mysteriously ended up dead in Adelaide in 1948. Okay guys, here's the thing. Carl Webb was separated from his wife, diba? Wala siyang trabaho. Ang sabi, possibly he had mental health issues. Pero wala pa rin klarong rason kung bakit siya biglang napadpad sa Somerton Beach at namatay. Okay, so now we know who he was. Pero ang tanong, was he murdered? Was he a spy? Was it a suicide? Or was he hiding something or someone? Ngayon, identify na siya. Pero bakit parang mas lalo siyang naging misteryoso? So ito na yung mga theories surrounding this case. Theory number 1, the spy theory. Guys, this one's the juiciest and most James Bond level marites. 1948, fresh pa yung tension ng Cold War between the US and USSR. So, Australia, dahil allied siya sa Western powers, it was becoming a hotspot for espionage, lalo na sa Adelaide. Clue number 1, yung Rubaiyat was often linked to code books used by spies. Clue number 2, he carried no ID and all labels were removed from his clothing. Clue number 3, mysterious cipher written at the back of the book na never cracked to this day. Clue number 4, presence of an unusual poison with no trace. Perfect daw to for intelligence work. And add to that, Adelaide was near Woomera Test Range. Isang highly classified weapons testing facility used by the UK and Australian governments. Tsaka guys, naalala nyo yung sinabi ko kanina na pangalan na tatandaan nyo? Yung si Jo Thomson, yung nurse. Get this guys, she spoke fluent Russian, a very rare skill at that time. So, theory says na si Carl Webb wasn't just a random guy. He was possibly a double agent and maybe, just maybe, he got burned. Theory number 2, suicide but make it mysterious. Okay, some experts think guys na Carl was going through personal problems. Kasi diba, he just lost his wife, kakahiwalay lang nila, he had no stable job, and he may have had mental health struggles. So ano ba yung supporting clue sa theory na to? No visible injuries. He was dressed neatly as if he knew this was his last day. Tapos, di ba yung meaning ng tamam shud na nakita dun sa papel? Di ba yung sabi ko kanina, it means na it is ended. Pero, kung suicide nga to, bakit no poison found in his system? Nag-effort pa siyang tanggalin lahat ng label sa clothes niya. At bakit ganon ka-clean and staged ang pagkakahiga niya? This theory makes sense emotionally, pero logistically, ang daming red flags eh. Nahilo na ba kayo? Ako rin, pero there's more. Theory number 3, a lost man who ran out of time. So, fast forward to 2022. After over 70 years, finally, diba, the DNA matched. Carl Charles Webb, born in 1905 in Melbourne, a quiet engineer, separated from his wife Dorothy, no kids, disconnected from family. So, this theory paints him as just a guy who went missing, possibly had a mental breakdown or medical emergency. No grand espionage, just a tragic, lonely ending. Pero again, bakit sobrang effort to erase his identity? Bakit hindi siya hinanap ng pamilya or de-report na missing? And who leaves a book with a hidden message in someone else's car? Diba? Ewan ko ba, nakakahilo na to. Theory number 4, cover up or mistaken identity. There's also speculation that maybe Carl Webb's body was used in place of someone else's, or Carl Webb was real but the man on the beach wasn't him. So some think the real Carl disappeared and someone else took his documents or identity. Pero guys, dahil sa DNA matching from his living relatives, this theory is almost debunked. Okay guys, bonus theory to. Was Robin Thompson is Somerton Man's son? Okay guys, naalala nyo, diba yung nurse? Jesse Thompson may have known him. Dininay niya pero yung anak niya na si Robin had extremely rare ear and dental traits identical to Somerton Man. Robin later became a professional ballet dancer and died in the 2000s. And Professor Abbott, who married Robin's daughter, studied the family DNA. So, is it possible na si Somerton Man was secretly Robin's father? A lost love story that ended in silence. So, ang tanong, may update ba sa kaso na to ngayon? Well, in July 2022, using hair DNA, si Professor Abbott and Colleen Fitzpatrick from the DNA Doe Project ID'd Carl Webb with high confidence. Pero, cause of death, still unknown. Motive, still unknown. But now, we have a name. And that changes everything and nothing at the same time. So now, we know his name. But, we don't know his truth. Bakit ba siya nandun? Sino ba yung imi-meet up niya dapat? And why erase his identity? At bakit after over 70 years, parang mas lalo pa tayo naguluhan? The case of the Somerton Man is technically closed, but the story far from over. Ngayon na alam na natin ang identity niya, ang tanong ko lang, sapat na ba yun? O mas lalo lang tayong nalito? Kasi ako ngayon, itong-lito na ako. Kasi sa totoo lang guys, so kahit ni-research ko to, nalito din ako sa mga possible theories. So drop your theories sa comments, baka ikaw na makasolve sa natitirang puzzle ng Somerton Man. And if you want more stories like this, just comment or DM me your story suggestions. Malay mo, yan ang next story time natin. Also, don't forget to follow, like, save, and share this video with your fellow Marites detectives. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!